Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 912. Different hair today. Look, got some weird stuff going on. I only have a little bit of stuff that I use. So today's going to be a hat day. Today's a hat day. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 912. What happened yesterday? We're going to talk about eBay auctions today. And long have I talked about, probably since the beginning of Hobby Evolution, I've talked about how eBay auctions suck. eBay auctions suck. Now, I love them as a buyer. Absolutely love eBay auctions as a buyer. You can get some great deals, which is why I say they suck. I'm seeing it through the lens of a seller. eBay sellers, auctions blow. But in the past, I have talked about how eBay auctions suck without actually backing up my statements with real numbers. But I decided, let's blow some cards out. Let's run a 7-day auction with 150 to 200 items, and let's put the numbers to the test, and let's see how it fares. I'm going to talk about my strategy for this past week's eBay auctions and how things turned out. And do I think auctions are good, or do I think auctions are bad with real numbers attached? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Eventually. If you're new to the program, I might not get to the actual topic until the 45-minute mark. That's just kind of how we roll sometimes. Although sometimes people want to start chat. If people kind of steer the chat in that direction, sometimes we go down that path. Other times we talk about cereal. So yesterday was Monday. Got a lot of shipping done. We had like no action at the house. Oh, it's like it made me sick to my stomach. It was upstairs mid-morning. I had shipped I came down here, did Hobby Evolution, shipped for like 3 straight hours. It's like I need to get outside. I need to move my legs. So my wife was on the phone and waited for her to get off. And then I said, hey, I'm going to run over to the house. Is there anything I need? Any notes to pass along, etc.? She goes, no need to go. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. It's June. It was June 19th. There's a lot to finish before it's move-inable. And nobody's there. You got to be effing kidding me. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take Biscuit for a walk then. So we had some, over the course of like other stuff, some drywall got damaged. So drywaller was supposed to be there. So I went over there after lunch, met the drywaller, made sure he knew, okay, this, and this. So some of that got taken care of. So I went back last night just to check things over, make sure everything's locked up. The siders were there. Well, one sider was there putting windows in the screened porch, which that was a pleasant surprise. Nobody's been here all day, but hey, we're getting the screened porch windows in. So that was exciting. So that's about all I did yesterday. Tonight's bar trivia night. We keep the fibs out, which is our trivia name. Wisconsin people will laugh. Illinois people will curse, and the rest of the country will be like, what the hell is a fib? A fib is an effing Illinois bastard. And so I've talked about this before. When we started bar trivia shit like 8 years ago, we needed a name. My buddy Dave was like, hey, we all are either from or lived in Illinois at one point. And this was the same time. This would have been probably around 2015, 2016. Build the wall. That was big in the news. There was like a local comedian, regional comedian, who put up billboards because he was like announcing his candidacy for president in 2016 as a joke. But he paid for billboards, which is pretty genius to get your name out there. Right on the Beltline here in Madison. And one says, build a wall, keep the fibs out. That was really funny. I wish I would have taken a picture of that. Anyway, Dave's like, we start playing trivia, and he's like, I named us Keep the Fibs Out since we all are from or lived in Illinois at one time. Perfect. So we've been Keep the Fibs Out for like 8 years. So we just kept the name, and now we've had new people come along. They're like, I don't like this name. I've never lived in Illinois. Well, you live in Wisconsin. You want to keep the fibs out. That's the genius of it. It works. So keep the fibs out. We're getting to at least right now. It looks like there's only 3 of us, but hey, 3's a crowd. Three's a company. So we're gonna hit up Hop House Brewery, the Fitchburg location, which is much nicer. There's a Hop House in Verona, which is nice. That's when I go for bike rides. The destination is typically a brewery. So that's one of my regular stops, Hop House in Verona. And then so like a year ago, they're like, let's play trivia at Hop House. And I'm like, it's kind of sucks at Hop House, like Fitchburg. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. And that's like their big location. They've got a huge patio, and it's a huge place. They've got like actual food. The Verona location doesn't really, they just have like chicken tenders and stuff. So tomorrow I'll let you know. We'll do a little trivia here, quiz you on questions that we received tonight at Bar Trivia. Let's get to the chat. We're talking eBay today. John's Mini Collections, Harlan in the house. What's up, Harlan? David, good morning. Herman is here. Ed, what's up? Donald Davis, good morning. Thanks for the cards from your eBay auction. We're going to talk about it. How was it? Was it a failure? Was it a success? I ran 7-day auctions on ended up being 164. You may ask, why 164? It's pretty simple. I just went to the first page. When you go into your eBay summary, you go to listings. I just wanted to turn listings in bulk from buy it now to auction. And so I went through it's sorted by 200 items per page. And I took out, because I wanted to do free shipping, because I couldn't figure out how to charge shipping in bulk. So I did free shipping on everything, 99 cents starting bid. But there were some lots on the first page. There were some other items I didn't want a chance at auction. That's why it was 164. There were about 36 items that I didn't want to put it at auction. Todd Richardson, good morning. Just couldn't pass up that Brian Taylor. Hey. 99 cents free shipping. Victor, good morning. Rich says he's here for the food talk. Who wants to talk about cards anyway? Yesterday was a disappointing food day. I had leftovers at lunch. I had a leftover burger. Last night, I just ate like a healthy choice frozen dinner. That was my food yesterday. That was it. Disappointing. But tomorrow I can talk about food, because I'll be eating like bar food or whatever. So we'll see what I have tonight. Flawed Thinker, good morning. Don't forget the Facebook link. Let's drop that Facebook link. Hit up the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. We are closing in on, where in the hell is my hobby? There we go. We're closing it on, I believe, 300. We're at 282 members in the Hobby Evolution Facebook group. There's some good conversation. I think somebody tagged me yesterday, so I got to follow up with what that was about. There's chats about, Joe was asking about subcategories in their eBay store. I think I commented on that. What other conversation? Card Dealer Pro. Do you guys keep the batches? I do. I don't think there's a benefit either way. Terry is talking about shipping supplies and netting on transactions. I don't think I've commented on that yet. Let's see. So there you go. Hobby Evolution link is in the chat. Where we at? Paul Heath, good morning. Philly Joe, what's up? Dan in the house. Good morning, all. I'm here to hit the like button, and we'll listen later in the day. Awesome. Thanks for dropping in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. I've been getting a few subscribers a day, which like every time I log in, it's like, ooh, 3 new subscribers. I like it. Thank you. James says, looking good. You going golfing? No, it's going to be hot today. So I'm doing shorts and a polo, although I freeze myself out. Last night, like after I was finished for the day, I had to go upstairs, get my sweatpants and a hoodie. It's like freezing. But in the morning, like I just took a hot shower. I'm drinking hot coffee. So it doesn't bother me. But when I switch over from coffee to water at like 10, 11 o'clock, then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, it's cold down here. Quick question before I duck off. Was that a typo? How hard? Duck off, Dan. How hard was it to switch over to front and back scans in your listings? Was there any clunkiness in the process? None whatsoever. None. I was actually surprised. And I thought there was going to be like I thought it would take longer to actually scan, and it doesn't. Maybe a split second, but not even, I don't think it's noticeable. No clunkiness whatsoever with the actual scanning process. No clunkiness with Car Dealer Pro. The only thing you just have to watch, you do have to be careful. It's kind of like with Car Dealer Pro, it's kind of like checking the work. You don't want to just blindly trust the process because that can lead to a lot of problems. And what I mean by that with the front and back scans is sometimes, and there's, for some reason, 19, and this is is it a scanner? Yeah, it's a scanner issue. 1975 Tops has given me issues where it won't scan. Or if cards like 90s Upper Deck, if they stick together, you have to be careful. So I always, before I export, I always make sure to check to make sure. One easy tell is if it only scans, say you're scanned 100 cards, but there's 199 images. Well, that's incorrect because there can't be an odd number of images. There's got to be an even number, no matter how many cards you scan. That's an easy tell. So I always go back, and that's about the only clunkiness, but it's I won't say very rare, but it is rare. It's uncommon that happens. It happens, but it's not common. No clunkiness, though, outside of that. I keep yawning. Oh, I just want to get that. I just wanted a power yawn right there, so I'm not like withholding it and yawning 17 times. I was tired this morning for some reason, and I went to bed at a reasonable time. Didn't drink any beer, didn't have any sugar before. Well, I had a root beer at dinner, so maybe that screwed my sleep up with all that sugar. But yeah, I woke up this morning just like, oh, I'm tired. I just want another hour of sleep, which is weird. Normally I'm not like that. Well, there's usually a day or two a week that I am. So I shouldn't say it. It happens. It happens. Christian says, are you familiar with the Cubs Party album from 1987? I don't think so. I would have to tell me more about it. Maybe I am. I don't understand. Cubs Party album 1980s. Is it an album of cards or is it an album of songs? Like Go Cubs Go and stuff like that. Cubs Party album. So tell me more details in that. It may ring a bell. Right now it doesn't. Alex, good morning. Angel Baby Cards in the house. Good morning. Zach and Porter are in the house. John got burned by a very recent eBay auction. That's not good. Angel Baby's got to go grab his coffee. There's the Facebook link. Kyle, good morning. As a buyer, I love eBay auctions. As a seller, not so much. Auctions blow, man. But now I have some true data to really back it up. Now, I've had true data before when I ran all of those basketball auctions. And oh my God, that was terrible. But I feel better. Paul Carl bought like 40 or 50 of my autos and relics of basketball. And I think he says he's having trouble moving them. So maybe their price is 99 cents. Fortunately, on those, I did charge shipping. I couldn't figure out how to change, because it automatically goes when you select shipping options, it goes to your policies. And I couldn't find a policy within my eBay settings where there's like standard envelope that charges or first class that charges. So I said, screw it. We're doing free shipping. So that's what we did. Where are we at? Let's see. Ed says, just a personal preference, but I delete my CDP Car Dealer Pro batches once the listing is live on eBay. Keeps the batch page nice and clean. So I do the opposite. I keep every batch in, and it's kind of, for me, I do it because every once in a while I'll screw up. So I name each batch, say, where's box 13? Where is box 13? Oh, it's on this side. Move sides. Can you see it? Nope. This freaking chair. Anyway, box 13's back there. Say it's box 13 tab A. My batch within Car Dealer Pro is 13A. So say I have like 3 or 4 batches and they get mixed up. I can go back and I can look. I can say, okay, 13A looks like it's wrong. And then I can go in and check in Car Dealer Pro. Like, here's the cards that should be in tab 13A. So that's why I keep all of my batches. Speaking of Car Dealer Pro, if you're interested in signing up, use promo code CUBS, 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 and you'll receive 500 free scans. 500 free scans upon your paid subscription. So check that out, cardealerpro.com. Promo code is CUBS, CUBS. Zach says, I can tell when someone doesn't check their scans. As someone who nobly buys, I'd re-omens you take the time to check your scans. Errors make a buyer have less faith in what they are buying. That is true. Now, if there's a photo of saddlebags and it's supposed to be a Freddie Freeman card, that is not a car dealer. That is not a scanning issue. That is a sell similar, and for whatever reason, a different photo came up. Tracy, good morning. Mark Marinello in the house. Big win for the Cubs. How about it? 8-0 for the Cubs over the once first place Pirates. The Cubs have now won 4 straight in the last few days against the Pirates, who are falling. The Cubs are moving on up. So how about this NL Central? Let's just, for a moment, let's look at the NL Central standings. The Cincinnati Reds have now won 9 out of their last 10 games. They're in first place, only 3 games above 500. The Milwaukee Brewers are now a half game behind the Reds. The Pirates have now dropped to third place. They are 3 games below 500, 3 games out of first. The Cubs are now 3.5 games out, and they are now 4 games below 500. Wild card race. We've got in the National League, the Giants, 8 games up, 8 games above 500. They are in that second wild card spot. The Marlins have the other. Reds, Diamondbacks, Braves have the division spots. Cubs are 3.5 games out of the division, 5 games out of the wild card. So now I'm like changing my tune. Like, okay, if the Cubs get a playoff spot, it's going to be in the division, because the divisions, even though the National League is weak this year, the National League Central is like really, really weak. Garrett says NL Central is trash. It is a trash division this year. I will, even though I'm an NL Central fan, I will admit it's a trash division in 2023. Sal Dougie is here. What's up? Tigers 727. Good morning. We've got the card hobbyist. Zach says my comment wasn't related to the bags. That's its own conversation. I'm talking about card pictures not matching up to description. Okay, so this is I can address this. It can be an easy mistake, but it's all part of the salesmanship. This is why I am careful with doing quantity on listings. There's some listing. If I have like 200 Mike Singletary cards from 1984 Topps, which I at one time did, sold like 50 of them, I'm going to do a quantity. If I have like a handful, like 6, 7, 8 cards, say a Mark McGwire rated rookie, which I had at one time, I will put those one at a time in its own batch. So 1A, here's a McGwire. 1B, here's a second McGwire. 1C, third McGwire, fourth. So when I get the order that comes across in my eBay store and I sell a Mark McGwire 87 Donruss rated rookie and it says SKU 1A, I know this, and I know if somebody comes back and says this isn't the card I ordered, I know it is because it's the only card in batch 1A. Every once in a while there'll be a slip where I'll have 2. I think I sold 3 Randy Johnson, and this worked out because there were 3 Randy Johnson 89 Upper Deck rookies in the same batch. One buyer bought all 3 of them, so he knew exactly what he was buying. But for the most part, if it's going to be if centering is going to be an issue, if it's 2023 Bowman, for the most part, the centering is all the same. Yes, I know there can be exceptions, but for the most part. But if it's 1984 Topps, some of those junk wax 80s, the centering is like each card is it's like freaking DNA. Each card has its own centering DNA. They're all different. Let's see. Garrett says NL Central and AL Central trash divisions. Agree with that. Cubs Party Album, record album featuring all Cubs songs, including Go Cubs Go. Okay. I am familiar. Maybe the first time that song was published, it was a mail order from a radio station. Interesting. Yeah, Steve, were they all Steve Goodman songs? Because Steve Goodman did Go Cubs Go, and then he also did a Cubs fans last dying wish or something. Cubs Party Album. Let me see if I can find an image. The one and only more or less official Cubs Party Album and Rally Starter. Interesting. Is this? I think there's a review. Baseball Prospectus has a review of the. Oh, maybe not. Hey, holy mackerel. Okay, so it was basically so the Cubs Party Album was essentially a greatest hits of songs about the Cubs. So hey, holy mackerel. That was from 1960. Men in Blue, about the 1984 season. Here Come the Cubs. Here Come the Cubs. In the mid-'80s, the Beach Boys kicked Brian Wilson out of the band and added John Stamos. Then they recorded this song in 1987 to make that trade look like the highlight of the decade. The jingle begins by replacing the lyrics to Barbara Ann with Cubs, 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 Here Come the Cubs. So it was appropriate that a song about desperately trying to get to first base would be rewritten for a team that gave 121 plate appearances to Chico Walker. Yes. Let's see. Cubby Safari. 10 minutes, 50 seconds. Holy crap. Hey, holy mackerel. Go Cubs, go. Take me out to the ball game. Let's see. There you go. So that was the Cubs Party Album. Where we at? John says quantity doesn't have anything to do with wrong picks, I would think. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you trying to find my wrong picks. So look at this Mike Singleton. And this is in a quantity listing. So look how off-centered that is. But look at how centered this one is. So if this was the photo that was shown, and there's 150 of these cards in the listing, and this was what was sent, the person is probably going to be upset. So I've got to be careful, since I do have these in quantity listing. I've got to be careful. And usually when I do quantity listings, I will take the worst centered cards. So kind of hard when there's 200 of them. But if there were a batch of like 10 of these, and this is the worst centered card, this is the one I'm going to take a photo of. And will it cost some sales? Yeah, probably. Some people will also send messages. They're like, hey, you have 10. Is that the one you're going to get? And I'm like, well, maybe. Here's some others. But that's what I'm talking about in quantity listings, where the wrong card is sent based on the picture. And that's why when there's going to be examples like that Singletary, John says, I'm referring to a single instance CDP situation. If you're referencing what I alluded to earlier, that's not what Zach was referencing, nor was that a Car Dealer Pro issue. That was a me. That only happens when you hit sell similar. So that was not, there is no way that a pair of saddlebags can be uploaded to eBay via Car Dealer Pro. Unless I had the only way that could have happened is if I would have saved a photo of saddlebags from the internet and saved it to the exact folder where I pull my eBay images. Even so, I would catch a pair of saddlebags in a Car Dealer Pro upload. So the pair of saddlebags in a Freddie Freeman baseball card auction was not a Car Dealer Pro. John is not referring to the saddlebags, and neither was. Okay, then you have to tell me what the hell you're referring to. I have no idea what you're referring to. So you're just going to have to tell me. Michael Renicky, good morning. Grinding for good. Good morning. Chico Walker will always have a special place in my heart. Made the last out when the Mets won the NL East Championship in 1986. Later became a Met in the early 90s. He had 2 runs with the Cubs. Played with the Cubs in the mid 80s, mid to late 80s. Like he was on the maybe only 87 team. Might have been on the 86 team. Well, wait, made the last out. So I guess he wasn't on the 86 team. And then he came back in like 91, 92. Let's see. There are multiple instances of Car Dealer Pro users scans being different players, different eras. And that's the problem with that is not a Car Dealer Pro. That's kind of like when a murder happens and you blame the gun. The gun didn't kill. The gun was a tool to kill the person. Car Dealer Pro is a tool that people are, and I'm guilty myself. And when I say that, I'm guilty myself of not closely checking, but I'm doing so much volume. And when it's $1.50, I just honestly, I'm not going to take the time to thoroughly look at every attribute, and does it suck and does it cause problems at times? Yes, but 99% of the time it doesn't. And I'm not going to risk all that time for $1.50. Does that make me a bad seller? Maybe. But that's when that does happen, and it's happened to me. That can happen. And how does that happen? That can happen when, if you are manually, and see, this happens more with me. This happens more with me because I export to a spreadsheet. And so I don't see the image. If you're working out of the website, out of Car Dealer Pro, you can actually see the image. I export mine to the spreadsheet because it's faster and easier to work with. For me, it might be faster for you on the website. So there could be, say I'm uploading 100 cards but only 99 got uploaded, and I'm just going through boom, 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 and I miss one. Does it happen often? No. But does it happen sometimes? Yes, absolutely. So Zach says, I'm advising anyone who sells using Car Dealer Pro or not to take the time to double check their scans. One must decide if quality versus quantity is the most important factor. I don't disagree with you, but they're both important. And there's there's that time balance. If I spend a half an hour just double checking I might as well just do my phone and list 30 items an hour. When I list 10,000 and there's 10 mistakes out of 10,000, or could I list 100 in that same time period, or 200 and make 0 mistakes? I'd rather have 10,000 listings where 9,990 are 100% accurate than in that same amount of time list 500 and 499 are completely 100% accurate. And Flipping Sports Guy says they're both important, but I also have to remember majority of what I run through Cardio the Pro is $1.50 to $2.50 free ship cards. Exactly. That's the thing. And again, if anybody has an issue with don't feel that I am this Mike arguing about a Pinto Ford dealership. I don't know what that means. So if that's something that deters you from buying from me specifically on eBay, that's the cost of doing business. On multiples, better to make clear image centering and the rest vary. Buyers are babies about condition on multiples. Good morning, Steve Ains Comedy in the house. So is there a significant difference in traffic if you have 3,000 listings or 15,000 listings? It depends. Well, there's a lot of variables. All in all, there's going to be a difference because you have 5 times more listings at 15,000 than you do at 3,000. But what are those 15,000 listings? If it's a bunch of 89 Donruss and they're commons, you're not going to generate much traffic. If you have a lot of who's a hot seller right now, Justin Fields, Jordan Love, Mike Trout, Mickey Mantle, like big names, those are going to generate. Like, it's really not, traffic isn't based on listings. Traffic is based on quality. The more quality you have in your store, the more traffic you're going to get. $1.50 free shipping cards don't generate a lot of traffic. But if your 3,000 listings are all commons and your 15,000 listings are all commons, you're going to roughly get 5 times more traffic than you were at 3,000. It's also, are you promoting and all that? What's your level of promoting and all that? But all things being equal, it just kind of depends what your listings are. If your 3,000 listings are the same as what your 15,000 listings are going to do, you're probably going to be 3-4 times higher, more traffic at 15,000 than you are at 3,000. It's probably not going to be a straight 5 times multiplier, but maybe 3. It's going to be significant. And I'm going to talk about traffic in my auctions and how my experiment went with running my auctions last week. Traffic was one of the main reasons for what I ran, and knowing that the eBay auctions I ran, it wasn't quality. It was quantity and just, will it give a spike to some stale inventory? Results were mixed. And I guess to spoil the title, the title question, was it good? Was it bad? It was neither. It was not good. It was not bad. I'll do it again. But again, I'll probably just use, and all in all, I probably, from a sales dollar standpoint, my 164 auctions that I ran was probably a break even, maybe even a small loss. I have to go back to see. I think some people bought multiple cards at 99 cents, so that takes it out of the red, puts it in the black for those transactions. So all in all, probably a break even. What about your time? What about the time? It took like little time. I flipped them all over. It took me 5 minutes because, again, it's all about efficiency and, amount of time it takes. Boom. I looked to see which ones I didn't want to list. Actually, the most time it took was trying to figure out how to charge for shipping, and I couldn't. So I'm like, screw it. It's all going free shipping. So it took me maybe 5 minutes to list. It's going to take me a few minutes to ship. Let's see. Angel Baby is commenting from his bed. Lower lumbar from months of sitting on my arse. There you go. I've been sitting on my arse I worked in radio. Although in radio, I usually stood. I couldn't talk sitting down. Like when I did the morning show in radio. Well, let's see, I'm trying to think of this station. It depended on the radio station I was working. K100, we had a standing studio, so you always talk. But a lot of like the I don't know what you would call them, the people you look up, the people who train you and look up to you, and like the big honcho, the head honchos, they always said, especially on like a pop and CHR top 40 station, you should be standing up because you have more energy when you're standing up. When you're sitting down, you get relaxed and you don't pump out as much energy. So then I went to the country station, a little slower, the country station. But we didn't have a standing studio. It was a sit down. So I sat down, but I'm playing country, playing some twang. Where are we at? Sal Dougie's in the house. Talking about sitting on my arse. Zach and Porter says, this was a general comment. So many of you are sellers. Once in a while, I provide the view from the buyer. I do appreciate it. I don't mean to sound combative. But I just have to tell it like it is when it comes to here's the why. Here's why some of this is screwed up. Zach says, don't forget that $1.50 cards or $2 cards could be more important to the buyer than just a $1.50 or $2 card. Absolutely. Because sometimes to me, like I'm buying a $1.50 or $2 card and it's, for my collection, for my Cubs collection. I won 3 of the auctions and bid up another. Sal Dougie for the win. Thank you. Pulling me out of the red on my auctions. Flipping Sports Guy says, for every 1 or 2 scans out of a couple hundred that are off is an error rate I'm okay with. It's more accurate than the price tags you see at the supermarket. 100%. Steve agrees. Steve and I are on the same page. I hate that argument about what about your time? It's not worth my time. It might not be worth your time. It's worth my time, maybe not yours. Your time and my time are different. Tracy would have bought the Royals and 2 to 3 others if I hadn't already done an order with you, and card funds are low right now. Hey, no worries. No worries at all. Did I connect to the wrong YouTube channel? I had to do a double take since you shaved. I know. I hate when I shave, but I'm in that, there's like a period of 5 days where maybe a week where I get too scruffy and I have too much facial hair. So I've got to shave it. But then I hate the few days after I shave because it takes me a week to grow any kind of stubble. Like I have like no stubble. I shaved Sunday and it's Tuesday and it doesn't even looks like I shaved 20 minutes ago. So I'm in that like, I hate this phase. 84 and 85 Topps football are 2 doggy series sets. Got to be extra careful about those bad boys. Yes. They call those experts consultants, i.e. the people who ruined radio. I know we had a couple guys and I worked in small market radio. I can't imagine. I never worked in large market. I can't imagine like some of the D-bags they brought in as consultants to our small market. Like this probably worked in Atlanta, in Chicago, but this is Podunk, Illinois. Let's see. I will agree with Rich. Tom Hicks ruined radio, I think. If you're running a business and not factoring in time, then you may be taken advantage of by yourself. True. Do you stand or sit when selling at a card show? It depends. Usually I stand. In fact, more times than not, I walk because I'm not at my table. And here I am. I'm a terrible seller. I always have people mention to me. Now in Madison, I have an excuse because I'm like running all over the place. So I can't like just post up at my table for 8 hours. They're like, how do you sell anything? You're never at your table. It's like that's the good thing about, and I think a lot of people that say that don't realize I have bargain boxes. That's it. Like I don't have a showcase with 40 cards and where somebody's going to look at the 40 cards and within 5 minutes they're going to want to purchase something. That's not my table. My table is where somebody comes and sits down. There's plenty of chairs, have a seat, dig through cards. People aren't coming up and pulling out 5 cards. Hey, I want to buy these. People are spending time at my table, which allows me to walk the floor. If I'm doing other shows, like when I do Rockford and Janesville, I sit down every once in a while. Like after the first couple hours, I'm standing up. But then when there's kind of a lull, I'll take a seat or I'll walk the floor. But for the most part, I'm on my feet. Radio consultants turn the medium into malls. You get the same thing in Maine as you do California. No variety or personality. Murder from within. 100K a year for 40-hour week isn't quite the same as 100K a week, a year for 100-hour weeks. I will strongly disagree. I'm probably putting in 100-hour weeks now and making a little more than I made at my previous job. My value, my happiness is 1,000 times better. It's not about the money and it's not about the time. It's about the happiness it brings or the lack thereof. I worked 40 hours a week in my previous job and I hated 80 hours a week. I hated my life. Okay, that's a little dramatic. Absolutely hated it. Hated it. Worked 40 hours a week. Now I'm working 80 or 90 hours a week. And I absolutely love it. And I'm not making twice as much. I'm making a little bit more than what I did at my previous job. But I absolutely love what I do. And I have freedom. That goes a long way. And see, that's why I don't like that question. It's just like, is it worth your time? My time is valued. I value my time differently than you may value your time. Some of you may have families, kids. I don't. Some of you may have hobbies. I don't. I don't golf. I don't boat. I don't hunt. I don't fish. I don't play softball. I look at baseball cards. That's my hobby. And I drink beer on the patio. I was told there would be no math here. Bo, you see that speed De La Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz. Oh, that speed that De La Cruz exhibited, that run to first base, Bo Jackson would have smiled. I did not see that. Kyle says, being self-employed, some projects require time to be valued more than others. It's often hard to analyze the value of time when every business scales at a different rate. Without question. That time value is, you can't quantify my time, and I can't quantify your time. I'm a stander. I stand when I go number one. But hey, I also stand when I go number two. Happiness at work is very important. Plus, having fun at work is important. Both more important than money, in my opinion. This is work. Like, this is part of my job. If you even call selling baseball cards a job, I guess it is work. I mean, do I love shipping cards for 8 hours? Not really. But I'm sitting on my arse listening to YouTube channels or music or podcasts or wrestling. And that's part of my job. And I don't have coworkers. And I don't have bosses. There's so much value in that. Not having to listen to some asshole. There's a lot of value in that. How about those eBay auctions? Just on point. 44 minutes. I mentioned at the beginning, for newbies, I'll get to the topic around the 45-minute mark, and here we are. So I ran, like I mentioned earlier, 164 auctions. 99 cent free shipping. Why 99-cent free shipping? Not because I like losing money, but because I couldn't figure out how to create a policy for shipping. So I rolled the dice. Now, the thing is, if I sell those cards, worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, with running 164 auctions, 99-cent free shipping. The absolute worst case scenario, which is highly unlikely to happen, all 164 items are sold at 99 cents opening bid to 164 different buyers. And the math on that, I would lose some time. I would lose about an hour of time, actually about 3 hours of time. The dollar value, not including time, $24.60. And again, that the chances of that happening are it would vary, like a 1 in a million. Okay. 1 in a million. And that's not scientific. So that's worse. It's $25. I lose $25 in a few hours of my time. I figured that for an experiment like that, I find that risk is worth the potential reward. The reward is going to be higher because I'm not going to sell all 164 items, and I'm certainly not going to sell all 164 items to all different people. In a few cards, hopefully I sell for more than 99-cent opening bid. My expectations going in were extremely low. Extremely low. My expectations on 164 items, auctions, my expectations was 16 would sell. And my thought was 3 of those 16 would sell for more than the opening bid. So both of those were actually exceeded. Before going on, let's check out the chat. Kyle says, being self-employed is awesome. It's worth the time for those that like independence and are motivated. Absolutely. 100%. Angel Baby, I found the hard way when your lower lumbar wears out due to sitting and staring at cards, you'll do both. Number 1 and number 2. Why I'm in bed leaving comments. John says, you guys are apples and orange. All things being equal, if you would rather work less and make the same. I don't want to work less. I enjoy working 80 hours a week selling baseball cards. The channel has been in a serious drought on wrestling talk. Sun count went up. Do the math. Sun count. What's a sun count? Sun count. I haven't watched much wrestling lately. I mean, well, I'm watching like 1993 wrestling. I've been watching current stuff. Standing up, as I found out in January. Shane says, morning. What's up, Shane? Scott, good morning. That happened. You'd have a new clickbait title. You are automatically assuming making more money means being less happy. You can do both, and you can make more money in less time and be happy. But I don't think there's a job that I can do that I would be more happy doing what I'm doing. I don't. Maybe there is, but why risk it? Why give up something I'm currently happy with making? Do I want to continue making more money and scaling up? Absolutely. And that's part of the fun, the challenge. I like the challenge of building a business. Randomantic. Do auctions risk your click-through rate or make positive result because of traffic? That's a great question. I'm going to get to that. Bruce says, could a dealer benefit from utilizing the presence of a female to draw attention, foot traffic, which could have a positive effect in sales? 100%. Absolutely. In every, not just in baseball cards, but in every facet. It's just a fact of life. Yes, 100%. Dan says, another strategy I use when utilizing my 500 auctions per month is to go to the listings I have with watchers on them and switch them to auctions. I figure if it's worth a watch, maybe it's worth a bid. Matt is currently listing, here's some some wrestling. Matt's listing some 2022 AEW. I never saw any in the stores because I would have bought a couple blasters. Now it's too late. Like at release, I would have, but now Drywaller will be back at the house at 10 o'clock. That's good news. So who had the question? Randomantic. That's a fun name. Randomantic. I like that. Do auctions risk your click-through rate or make positive result because of traffic? So let's take a look at my traffic. So that's actually this was the main reason I wanted to run auctions. I wanted to experiment with, and what did I list again? It was totally random. Fortunately, most of them were stale $1.50 free shipping cards. So stuff that I was willing to risk 99 cents for. Now, would I want to throw a 99-cent auction on like a $20 autograph in my store? Absolutely not, because it would probably sell for $2 or $3. That's why auctions suck. And that's why, as a buyer, auctions are great, because you can get a $20 auto for $2 or $3. Just some people, when I say that on Twitter, where I'd like to find it. Well, you have to look for yourself. I'm not going to do all the work. I'm not going to hold your hand and do all the work for you. You can find them, and they are plentiful, by the way. So plentiful that I'm always hitting myself that I should be. In fact, go listen to Dr. Beckett's podcast from last week when he talked to Greg Moore's Cards. He sources like all of his inventory from eBay. And guess where he sells it? eBay. So there you go. Traffic was kind of the main, even though the quality wasn't there of listings. If they're at auction, maybe it'll drive traffic because it's different. There's that time. Ooh, less time. I need to buy it, because that's kind of like the psychology. Oh, there's only a day left and this is going to be gone forever. That's sometimes how we think. So we have to bid now. So, traffic. So I just pulled up my last 7 days from the start of my auctions through this morning. 164 auctions. How'd my traffic look? You would think, because I even added inventory, buy it now inventory within the last week. So I would have assumed my traffic would have gone up, and maybe it wasn't going to go up a crazy amount. I didn't expect that based on the auctions themselves, the quality of the listings, but I still expected a bump. No, sir. My traffic, my impressions last week versus the previous time period versus the week before, down 9.5%. Page views down 16%. And my quantity sold was actually down 15%. My sales conversion rate was about the same, 7.7%, which is a little bit higher. I think it was around 7.5% in the last couple weeks. So the not sell through, the conversion rate was about the same. So those numbers, like, those were eye-opening numbers that not only did I see, I was thinking I'd see a small bump in traffic. I actually saw a significant decrease. Now, was the decrease the result of auctions? No. But the eyeballs weren't there. There's so many variables. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. There are so many variables. And this one experiment in the middle of summer, well, summer is not official until what? Tomorrow, the next day. But this is the worst time of year for card sales. June and December are pretty poor months. Now, it's kind of changed over the last 3 years based on product release. Back pre-COVID, June was kind of a poor month. December was probably the worst. And then you started to see the ramp back up in January. Here lately, over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of product releases in December, which has given us a December baseball, and I'm talking baseball, December baseball bump, where now it's kind of like the dog days of summer are truly the dog days of sales when it comes to baseball, because we are well past the excitement of a new season, and we're in the dog days of summer, June, July, into August, and then Playoffs, you'll see some individual bumps based on performance. Takes a little time off, and then you're going to see some waves. Depends on which releases come out. You know, the bigger releases, the more releases, you'll see bumps in sales. So, so this one experiment, is it a telltale sign? No, but it was interesting. It was interesting nonetheless. Now, I think I may try it. I don't know if I'll run them tonight, bar trivia tonight, maybe tomorrow night. And I'm a big proponent of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday auctions. Fridays are terrible. Do not run Friday auctions. I don't like Saturday auctions. I don't like Sunday auctions. Now, kind of different. I don't like Friday, Saturday auctions because most people are, especially in the summer, busy doing things. Sunday, I don't like auctions, not because people are busy doing things. They're winding down and getting ready for the week to start. But for 25 years, the onus has been, you got to run on Sunday night. That's when people are at their computers. Well, this isn't 1999 anymore. People don't have computer time. Well, maybe some do. You're not on your 56K modem dial-up internet with your 8 p.m. time slot for the internet looking on eBay anymore. You've got your phone in your pocket and you're constantly engaged. And if you're looking for cards, like, yeah, you're still probably on the couch on Sunday night. You've got some time. But there's a lot more competition because for 25 years, people say run auctions on Sunday night. So what does that mean for you as a seller doing auctions? You have so much more competition on Sunday night. That's why I avoid it. Less competition. And I found weekday auctions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, have been pretty good. So how did I do? My expectations on my auctions, I was expecting out of 164 auctions, I was expecting to sell 16. I blew that out of the water. 36, and you're probably thinking 36 out of 164. That's a terrible percentage. But again, the quality wasn't high. I wasn't selling Mike Trout rookies. I was selling Brian Taylor rookies. So, which actually did sell. Thank you. Somebody mentioned they bought one in the chat. So that's why I didn't expect, a 70% turnover rate. So 36 out of 164, I was happy with that. Was happy with those results. I actually did have some sell for more than I expected. Let's see. Henry Davis, who, by the way, Henry Davis made his debut last night. And that was just dumb luck that I had a couple Henry Davis cards. One was a Topps Pro Debut base card. One was a Heritage Miners blue parallel. And here's why I don't understand auctions. The Henry Davis Pro Debut base card sold for $2.25, while there are others in my eBay store for $1.50. So the auction sold for $2.25. The blue parallel, numbered out of like 99 or 150, I can't remember what Heritage Miners blues run, 99 or 150, sold for like $3. I'm like, what? This makes no sense. What else sold? So a 1997, and this is good. So one buyer bought 3 cards at 99 cents. They were a 2001 Donruss Alex Rodriguez, a 2018 Topps Now insert of Derek Jeter, and a 1997 Topps Dennis Eckersley. So those all sold for 99 cents to the same buyer. So that's going to be a net profit on that transaction. This person bought 2 cards. Oh, no, those were buy it nows. Hedbert Perez Heritage Miners Black, numbered out of 50. That sold for $3.65. If I buy it now, if I listed that for $5 on Buy It Now, it'd probably sell for $5, but $3.65 I'm happy with. That was a single card. So, there were a few single cards, but there were a few that sold that the same buyer bought multiple at 99 cents. So that was a win. So all in all, was it good? No. Was it bad? No. Will I do it again? Yes. I'll be very strategic in what I run, though. I will run stale-ish inventory, $1.50 cards, to where if I sell multiples at 99 cents, That's okay. It's a small profit. If I lose 15 cents on a single card, hopefully I'll get some positive feedback out of it. Hall of Fame card collector in the house. What's happening? Mark Marinello says, loved my time working for Uncle Rich. Where else can you get paid for doing something you love? Beats selling suits, even though I've been doing it for almost 30 years. Angel Baby loves his Fujitsu scanner, but I love not being chained to my home-based card listing. Hall of Fame's running a 25% off sale in his store. Dan says, I had some 68 tops at auction last night. One guy bought 52 cards at auction, most of them between 99 cents and $1.50. Maybe try a batch of 50 cards from the same set. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I don't know if I have anything on me right now. And this is another, like, I don't want to put too much time into auctions. So Rando Mantic says, do you promote listings for auction? I don't think so. If I do, it's the default. I didn't like go in and check anything. So whatever default was, I'll check to see though. Yeah, so I'd like to run, maybe not tonight, but tomorrow night I'll run some auctions, and I don't know what I'll run. Does any Card Dealer Pro user, I know a couple people, I've seen at least one person say they had trouble trying to run auctions using Card Dealer Pro. And I've never tried it because I hate auctions. But I'm kind of thinking kind of along Dan's wavelength is maybe if I do come across like a batch that I think people might bid on, even if they're 99 cents and $1.50, if I can get one buyer for multiple cards, it's worth it. I could run it through Card Dealer Pro. Otherwise, I'll just do the bulk. And that way if I'm running it through Card Dealer Pro doing a big batch, you know, I'm not spending as much time as going through my entire inventory, picking and choosing, because I don't want to do that. Because again, there's the time comes in. I don't want to spend that time running auctions. Dan uses Card Dealer Pro to set auctions and then spread the ending times out in 1 minute interval. Oh, I like that. See, the one thing here's one knock I have on how I ran these auctions. I did it bulk. So all 164 auctions ended at the same time. So I couldn't like watch, you know, like that's some of the fun is watching them wind down. And somebody we were talking about yesterday morning, like people bid in the last seconds. That didn't happen with mine. Like, I don't think there were any auctions. Maybe there was one of them that there were like bids in the final seconds. Most people were just putting bids on throughout the duration of the first few hours that I had listed the auctions. I had like 3 or 4 bids. I'm like, whoa, that's surprising. Didn't expect that. John says time is universally recognized to be finite and in limited supply, except in the card industry, I suppose. Use it wisely. I think you can say that for everything. And I guarantee you, we don't all use our time wisely. I guarantee every one of us at certain points does not use our time wisely. So, and I'm guilty. And I think every person walking this earth is guilty at one point or another. So that's what I had. Was it good? No. Was it bad? No. I'll do it again, but just be careful because auctions are terrible. So don't list $20 cards at 99-cent free shipping because you might only sell it for $3. But you can also learn the hard way. And it also goes, and I guess just one final thought on it was, you see big, like DC Sports, one of the biggest on eBay, if not the biggest on eBay. They have a huge, like you go to their page, DC Sports. I think that's the one I'm thinking. They're the one that does all the consignments, big consignment seller. They have 55,000 followers to their eBay store, and they've sold nearly 3 million items. DC Sports 87, yeah. So, like, they have their auctions are going to get some action because they have 55,000 watchers following their store. I have 3,000. There's a lot less eyeballs looking at my stuff. It's kind of like, it goes back to like Twitter. People People complain, oh, I don't have any Twitter sales when they have 400 followers. If you only have 400 followers and you're trying to do Twitter sales, you only have 400 sets of eyeballs. So it's just, it is what it is. So that's what I had for today. I figure there's more bidding on items 5 and up. Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, because basically the most of what I listed in this batch of auctions were $1.50 cards. So, and really, they're quarter cards. If you're at a card show, these would be in my quarter box. $1.50 cards are essentially quarter cards in a card show box. Angel Baby says just purchased 23 Series 2 last night. Any thoughts? It's flagship. It is what it is. I don't have I get excited for Series 1 because it's the first set of the year, but it's flagship. There's so much, and this is a story for another day, but Top Series 1 and Series 2 is so mass produced that for me, like, yeah, I like some of the cards, but there's not much value in it monetarily. However, I think that's very important. I think Top Series 1 and Top Series 2 should be mass produced and available everywhere at a decent price where everybody can, and like that should be the gateway drug getting you into the hobby. Top's flagship. So it's mass produced, and I think that's a good thing. So Series 2 historically has never done it for me because Series 1 is exciting. Series 2 is released in June. And it's like, yeah, there's some rookies, but they're going to be in the quarter boxes before long. So John says flagship should be bought in set form only if collecting. If chasing, then Bon Voyage. So that's my thoughts there. Facebook link. Can I copy? There it is. If you're not in the Facebook group, check it out. Hobby Evolution on Facebook. There's the link in the chat. eBay store link is in the description to this video. Over 100,000 singles in my eBay store. Buy 20 or buy 25. Buy 7 or more. Only 7 or more. You'll get 25% off automatically at checkout. A lot of stuff that's not $1.50 cards are priced under comps. So you may find some good deals. So check out my eBay store. If you haven't already, hit the like button to the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. And I'll see you then.